Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Tess versus red flags. So I got an interesting email as I was sitting here this morning going through the different emails. This one literally came in as I was going through the emails, and the headline caught my attention. And it's kind of a funny story. When I got to the end of it, I was laughing pretty good because I thought it was kind of funny what had happened. Obviously, it's probably not very funny to the guy, but just the turn of events. So he's watching a movie with his girlfriend, and in the movie, the wife in the movie reveals that she just had an affair, and I guess she was going to end the marriage. And then the husband revealed that he'd had multiple affairs on her. The wife got mad, threw a vase, broke everywhere, and so the guy who wrote the email, he had a discussion with his girlfriend about that. And from everything he's learned, it seemed like she had the same kinds of values as him. And she kind of sided with the wife in the movie and understood why she did what she did. In other words, why she cheated on her husband and then left. But she said it was okay. And so this guy is now going, is that a red flag? Is she testing me? Is that not a good sign that she doesn't actually value loyalty? So it brings up an interesting topic. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through the email. And the quote says, "The most important thing to men in a relationship is loyalty. The reality is that many women also value loyalty, but don't have the integrity to live up to that ideal. When vetting women in the dating and courtship phase, men should make sure a woman's actions actually match her stated values, and most importantly, that she has a family background and upbringing that instilled these values. Projecting one's values onto another while ignoring the fact their actions are not a match will lead to unnecessary heartbreak and pain when fantasy meets reality." So he says, "Hi, Corey. I wanted to share a chat about values that randomly came up with my girlfriend last night while we were watching a movie. In that movie, a wife ended her relationship with her husband right after she cheated on him. When she brought it up, the husband admitted that he had been cheating on her as well, but for a much longer time. The wife then threw a tantrum, grabbed a vase, threw it on the floor, and broke it into pieces. And he says, I commented, I think she shouldn't be reacting like that. They're both wrong, and their relationship is clearly messed up. She should have just walked away. My girlfriend then said, I understand her. She just slipped once. She decided to end their relationship immediately. Her husband, however, was maintaining a long-term affair and neglected her for many months. It's not the same thing. I said her husband is definitely wrong. I agree. But if she was not happy about their relationship and thought it was beyond salvage, then she should have just ended it before sleeping with another guy, don't you think?" She said, "When you're married for many years, you need a very good reason to leave. I think her affair made her realize that it was over, and she ended the relationship immediately, so it's okay. But at the end of the day, she still cheated on her husband, despite the fact that the husband was a serial cheater and liar. She did it once. But it's interesting that his girlfriend is, hey, it's okay to cheat because that's what it took for her to realize it was over." I don't agree with that at all. And it shows a character flaw. And so you may be listening to that and going, these hoes ain't loyal, coach. They ain't loyal. I said jokingly, are you really serious about this, or are you just siding with her because she is a fellow woman, with a smirk? She said, I'm not saying I would do this myself, but I understand where she is coming from. Why, are you going to leave me tomorrow because of that? I said, laughing, no, come on. But I have to be honest, I'm quite surprised and disappointed that you think this way. These are really not my values. I love that statement, dude. Because you're stating where you're coming from. And whether you realize it or not, you're setting a healthy boundary. You're communicating to your girlfriend. It's like, that's not the right thing to do. As you told her, she should have just left the marriage if she was unhappy, not gone and cheated. Regardless of whether the husband was cheating or not, it doesn't, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because the husband was cheating doesn't mean it's okay. And I don't think, at least it wasn't revealed in the email, I don't think the wife knew that the husband was cheating, because obviously she threw the vase. And so she got upset. So, but the fact that this guy's girlfriend justified, I mean, granted, she can understand where the woman's coming from, but the wife acted totally out of integrity. Because in her mind, the husband was being, as far as she knew, was being loyal and faithful. That's why she got so upset and threw the vase and broke it everywhere. So, I mean, what it reveals is it reveals the thinking of your girlfriend that, hey, if you're not happy, if you're looking for a reason to end the marriage and you already know it's over, hey, then it's okay. That's basically what it sounds like. He says the conversation ended there and she was cold with me after that. Was this a red flag, or is this a test that I failed? Well, it's definitely a potential. Could be a yellow. Wasn't there yellow flags in soccer? I don't remember. But I'd say could be a red flag, could be a half-raised red flag. Maybe it needs more clarification. And you guys should probably talk about it again in the future, and you make it crystal clear. It's like, it seems like you think cheating is okay when you're not happy. Just because she says, she came around and said, it's okay. It's okay that she cheated just because that's what it took for her to realize that the marriage was over. People who have integrity are just simply aren't going to do anything like that. Like I wrote about in 3% Man, I wasn't happy in my marriage. I should have never married my wife in the first place. She was great. And I had an opportunity to have an affair with somebody I really wanted to have an affair with. But I had integrity. I was like, it wasn't the right thing to do. Imagine if we got found out. That'd be horrible. It'd be embarrassing. And so for me, the right thing to do was to leave, because that's what men do. They honor their commitments. They don't do something out of integrity. Because if I was to have had an affair, then that would show that I have no integrity. And why should any of my subsequent girlfriends have ever trusted me if I would have cheated? It's just, those are my values. My values are loyalty, and I'm not going to violate an oath or something that I commit to just because it's the right thing to do. It's kind of common sense. She claimed before that she had never cheated on anyone, and based on her interactions with her friends and business partners, I can see that she values loyalty and responsibility very seriously, hence why I was quite surprised by her answer. Well, I'd be surprised too, because she's excusing having no integrity. She's excusing cheating because of special circumstances. But that's just, like I said, it's definitely going to need another conversation if I were you, but you need to make clear to her why you were bothered by that so she understands, because your girlfriend is basically excusing cheating and being disloyal. And if she's somebody who's claiming how loyal she is, when you see this example, she's like, oh, well, that's okay. So in other words, cheating is okay under certain circumstances. And number one value, and you should also tell her, the number one, when they ask men and women what's most important, number one thing with guys is loyalty. And somebody that excuses disloyalty because of extenuating circumstances, and in essence, the wife wasn't happy, so she went and fucked somebody else. Unbeknownst to her, her husband had already been cheating on her anyway. So that just shows to me that at least the character in the movie had no integrity. And the fact that your girlfriend's saying, hey, it's totally okay, because for whatever reason, the husband was cheating, or her justification was the marriage was broken anyways. It was like that was the impetus for her to end it. Okay, well, she had an affair. She knew it was time to leave. And that is definitely not okay. So I'd have that conversation, and this is why you date for a long time. See how she behaves. You don't have enough data to blow the relationship up over this, but it definitely warrants another conversation. And you really need to watch her actions and her words and see if you catch her doing things that show a lack of integrity. It's like, what's her family background? What is her parents' relationship like? Were they loyal and faithful to one another? Are they still loyal and faithful to one another? That's why, especially when you get into the relationship, these things are going to come up. You're going to meet each other's family. You're going to get to know, and you're going to spend a lot of time with them typically, unless they don't have a good relationship with their family. But if you come dating a woman that comes from a good family, you're going to get to know her parents and her cousins and aunts and uncles really well. And so these things are going to come up in conversation. And you got to think of yourself as like Sherlock Holmes. And so if her parents, one or both of her parents, cheated on one another, like I said, where would she learn loyalty from? And it's always going to be from whoever raised her. So if the parents were loyal, and she's been loyal to all her previous boyfriends and people she's been involved with business-wise or socially, there's a good chance. But at the end of the day, you don't really know. You're not going to get 100% one way or another. It just depends on the person's value system. Do they live up to the value system? Because a lot of women who are liars and cheaters say they value loyalty and they want to be loyal, but when extenuating circumstances come along, they cheat anyways because they really didn't. That's why you always look at somebody's actions. So right now, we don't know. We can't make a decision. So have another conversation with her about it, preferably after you've just had great sex and you're laying naked in each other's arms. And watch her closely. I hope you're not engaged or planning to get married anytime soon. Take your time with a woman like this and see if other things don't match up, because you don't know what you don't know yet. So if you'd like to get my help personally, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.